Chair now recognizes Mr. Grothman from Wisconsin for 5 minutes.
Sure. First question, I guess I'll go with Mr. Melito, but I guess anyone else can jump in. Obviously, we've heard a lot of stories today about third-party groups funding lawsuits, and lawsuits that probably, if you went through all the litigation, you may win. Have any of you had any experience as an attorney in which the plaintiffs in a lawsuit wound up, in your opinion, paying a price for filing a suit that probably was not meritorious? Is there a cost, in other words, for filing a marginal lawsuit that as a practical matter is imposed?
Well, there can be, but I haven't, in my experience, I'm not able to provide any examples of that with the cases that we've been involved with.
That's kind of what I'm talking about here. There is none that you're aware of. Can you think of in your mind cases in which there should have been a price paid for filing them, but as a practical matter under our system, it's not? You don't have to give me the name of the case. You just...
Well, I think what we're faced with is a legislative system whereby under each of these statutes there's a right to bring a suit. And I'm not here to say that we shouldn't be able to sue federal agencies to hold them accountable. We should be able to do that. What our problem is that through the settlements, the parties, plaintiffs, and Department of Justice agree to settlements that go well beyond the subject matter and create requirements and restrictions that really serve to shut down economic activity in the country. And I think what in the end we need is congressional work to make sure we're kind of putting boundaries around that so that we're not discouraging investment in the U.S. and pushing that investment to other parts of the world where they do things in a much worse way.
That's what I was going to talk about here. We've heard a little bit about how the system works in America. We all know that we'd be better off if things were produced in America or grown in America, mined in America. Is there any other country around the world that has anything like this as far as kind of the ability to file lawsuits and have the government kind of in cahoots with the plaintiffs, perhaps changing the rules and putting us at disadvantages compared to other countries?
I'm not aware. I'm not sure if our academic
Any of the others? Do you have examples? Can you think of any? Can you think of no examples? In other countries, they would be just stunned what our businesses have to put up with.
Well, it's a good point, though, because we do have a strong legal and regulatory system that provides oversight and enforcement of our industries, of our activities, to make sure we have clean water, clean air, and that we're restraining and constraining emissions, and we're taking those types of actions. Other countries don't have what we have, and so when we shift investment to those countries, it's going to activities that are much less regulated and generally have higher environmental impact.
You deal with oceans. As a practical matter, then, is one of the products of this type of lawsuit that we are shifting mining or whatever to countries with a lot lower standards than ours?
Yes, sir. I think this is why we see the U.S. going overseas to get minerals that we have in Minnesota. I think that is one of the critical reasons, and it's one of the reasons I'm proud to be here today to let folks know we don't have to go and make deals with countries that we shouldn't be making deals.
Yeah, and can you tell me, as far as the environmental steps you have to go through in Minnesota compared to the environmental steps you have to go through in other countries of the world, could you give a comment as to the difference?
I'm incredibly proud of the standards we have in Minnesota and the standards that we have in the U.S. We have rigorous standards. We care deeply about water in Minnesota. It's our brand. It's our thing. And we make it tough for mining companies, and we hold them accountable. And our regulators work really hard to find a way where we can manage to protect those resources and bring mineral resources into being for everything.
And a lot of times, if those minerals are not mined in Minnesota, are they mined in countries in which the protections are not there, and therefore worldwide we're hurting the environment by pushing economic activity outside the United States?
That is correct, sir.
Any other comments? Thank you.
Time's expired. Chair now recognizes